Hello. Excuse me. Connie Balmer. Hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Connie Balmer was first. Thank you very much. Okay. Um, Let me see here. Oh, let me grill. Oh, you know what? Gotta grab my slides. Let me do that. And yeah, then we're good. Did anybody catch the comedy at the um, Madison Square Garden? Did anybody catch the comedy act? Um, well, it was interesting. um, well, interesting in that it was very, very racist. I could not believe it. But I guess he read the room and he figured it was okay. I could not believe it. The stuff that came out of that guy's mouth. Well, I think that, um, well, well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. There's still people that will look past it and give their approval, but it was pretty tacky, very tacky. Oh, Church Nelly, Church Nelly, I got something for you. Hello, Baron Squatties, half asleep and half tipsy. Well, I better share it with you now instead of later. And this will give you something to dream about. You guys know that Church Nelly, by the way, thank you for 38 months. That's the highest number I've ever seen. 38 months. So, I saw something I wanted to share with Church Nelly. Okay. All right, let me take that away. And as you guys know, Church Nelly loves kilts. It's something about the kilts that just captures her imagination. So to celebrate your your 38 months membership, to celebrate your 38 months membership, there you go. A kilt for Church Nelly. There you go. Uh, apparently, there's a calendar for 2025. Now, if you be a very good moderator, who knows? Maybe somebody will get that calendar for you. But yeah, I guess you could always count on the what do you call it? The winds blowing across those moors or whatever. But uh yeah, so there you go. Just took a screenshot. Great. Great. Okay. Enjoy and thank you for being on Royal Sussex tonight. And I know you may fall asleep at some point, so I figured I better do it now rather than later. Okay, say goodbye to the 2025 Men in Kilts calendar. Okay. All right, let me go back to the first slide. There we go. Um, let's see. What did you miss? Hi everyone. What did I miss? Oh, the comedian at Madison Square Garden. If you're on any other social media, especially if you're on X, then you won't even have to look for it. It will find you, or he will find you. But that's how I saw it. Is that people shared it on X, formerly known as Twitter, and he did a joke about watermelon. He did a joke about Puerto Rico. And I'm trying to think what else was it that was kind of, well, anyway, those two in particular were really bad, really, really bad. So, um, shocking, absolutely shocking. If nothing else, that monster from Mar-a-Lago has made this country so much less attractive than it's ever been. There's like a certain ugliness about society nowadays because I guess you could say he has made us realize that there is at least half the people in the United States, the registered voters, that would vote for someone so um, evil in the first place. And then, of course, the hardcore support for him runs around, oh, I think about 36% or something like that. His hardcore supporters that supports him no matter what. Um, that's about what, like 100 million people? I want to say that for the amount of people who can vote, let's say it's 200 million people are eligible to vote. And just imagine 100 million people, if that number is anywhere close, 100 million people are eligible to vote for him. Now, that's not saying that most people are going to vote at all, because usually it's, we don't get 90% participation in even the federal elections. But I'm just throwing some numbers out there. But just imagine if 100 million, 80 million, 60 million people would be willing to vote for someone like that. That's scary. That's a lot of people who have no regards for the humanity of others. That is terrible. That is terrible. But anyway, let's get on with the fake royal, because I'm throwing numbers all over the place and they're probably nowhere near accurate. But just using that as an example. Okay, let's get on with it then. We're not going to be on here that long tonight. I promise you, we're not. It's not going to be like last night, 3 hours and 20 minutes. So oh, do we have a message from the great beyond? Hold on, let me do this then. You know, when we're getting a message from the great beyond, we have to make sure that we do a proper intro. So let me set that up. Okay, and nope, that's not right. Here we go. Want to make sure I set this up right. And there we go. One more. We got to make sure we do this right now. That was one. And here's the other. She does make an impression, doesn't she? All right. So, and uh-oh, let me take her away from there. Okay. Royal message. I, Queen Elizabeth II, ruler of the United Kingdom, and Dr. Scholl's footpads, do hereby declare that we saw Camilla's hooves in daytime, and we are not amused. Since 1992, oh, I've done it again. queen out. 1992, a year which I shan't look back upon with undiluted pleasure. It was a horrible and inimitable. Oh, well, I tell you, there's nothing dainty about um, Camilla, the Queen Consort. Oh my goodness, you guys. And thank you so much, Sean. Thank you for bringing that message from the great beyond. And thank you for the super chat. I was watching, oh gosh, I always screw this up. Let me see. Oh, Duchess Royal. I was watching Duchess Royal and her descriptions of Camilla. I thought I was gonna fall out of the chair. It was absolutely hilarious. If you guys did not watch Madam Duchess, she did post a video today, and you know that is something that I'm always waiting for is the latest Madam Duchess video. And of course, I'm gonna have to go back and watch it twice. I have to go and watch it the second time because it was fantastic. Um, but yeah, really done a great job. The link is in the community tab. So I believe it was the last thing I posted. So you cannot miss it. But the link is in the Royal Sussex community tab. And you can go there and grab that link. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Yes, it's the charm offensive. That was the last thing I posted. So make sure you go there and watch that video. It was fantastic. And as usual, like, subscribe, and share. Uh, let's see. Oh, of course you can get a still picture of Church Nelly. Of course you can. Let me see. Do I still have it? I mean, I didn't save it, but of course I will find it for you. I don't know how I found that thing, to be honest with you. I was looking for something else, and there it was. But yeah, if I can find it, I will definitely well, I mean, I do have it. What am I saying? I do have it. But yeah, sure, I'll make sure I get that for you. Okay. Um where did we leave off? Okay. First, let me save that before I forget. Yeah, I have to do stuff before I forget it because I have a bad case of sometimers. Sometimes I remember stuff and sometimes I don't. Okay. That's what we call sometimers. All right. All right. Did I leave anything out? What did I forget? Okay, Church Nelly, I'm going to put him on the community tab for you, okay? And then you can grab him. Well, you know what I mean. I'm going to put him on the community tab and you can grab him from there. You know what I mean. You can access him from the community tab. So, yeah, there you go. Okay, done. Done. Have your way with him. Oh, wow. What did I just do? Okay, okay. uh, it wouldn't be Church Nelly if she wasn't absolutely messy, right? Okay, very good. Now, what was I doing? I'm doing too much stuff at once. There we go. Let's get to this. Now, I mentioned this yesterday, but I didn't really have any photos to support it, right? So check it out. Meghan Markle, that is the Duchess of Sussex, and Prince Harry are currently on their royal tour of Australia, New Zealand, Tonga, and most recently, Fiji, where they found a touching way to pay homage to Queen Elizabeth II and her husband, Prince Philip. Whether they meant to or not, on Monday night, the prince and his pregnant wife strolled out onto the balcony of the Grand Pacific Hotel in Suva City to wave to the thousands that had gathered outside just to capture a glimpse of them. This was precisely the same spot where Harry's grandmother, the Queen, waved to locals 65 years ago. The Queen was in town to attend a ball honoring the monarch on her coronation tour in December 1953. Like the brand new image of the Queen can clearly be seen waving from, that is, the very same balcony alongside her husband. So unfortunately, we don't have that straight on angle of the Queen. It's kind of off to the side here, and plus at nighttime, who knows what kind of equipment they were using? So maybe that wouldn't have made sense, but that was a long time ago. But anyway, that is the Queen and Philip on that very same balcony. As you can see, that I guess you would call it a dormer, pediment, whatever that is up there at the top. Um, Gable, yeah, the gable up there at the top. They put the Queen's cipher and everything up there, which is a really nice touch. And there you see, all those years later, Harry and Meghan stepped out on that balcony to thousands of people while they were on their Oceania tour back in 2018. And here's a distant photo of that same view. Very nice. Very, very nice. And you can see, fast forward to 2018, and it seems as though everyone in Fiji has a cell phone, right? You can't really see the crowd with them, but you can see everyone seems to have a cell phone. And Harry, look at how proud. Look at how proud he is. Absolutely proud. Still smitten with his wife, newlyweds that they are. Absolutely smitten with her. Every day from since they got married is just like he's always looked to her as someone who's capable of doing just about anything possible. He loves her, he respects her, um, and likewise, she loves and respects him. It is palpable. You just cannot fake this. They're looking at each other back in 2018 the same way they looked at each other when they were in Colombia. No difference. No difference. It's like nothing has changed. That must be amazing. Take a look there. Nice, right? Yeah, I wish I would have had these yesterday, but I did not. But I carefully went through and made sure that I grabbed some today. The Grand Pacific Hotel. That place looks amazing in the daytime. I didn't grab a daytime photo, but it's all painted white and everything, perfect for the tropical climate. But it's a beautiful hotel. Now, contrast Harry and Meghan on that balcony. And as I mentioned yesterday, these two had they don't think. They do not think. They are not students of history. They know absolutely nothing about the world. This would have been a great thing to do 50 years ago. So, as I said, whether Harry and Meghan meant to or not, and something tells me they didn't plan this when they went to Fiji. I'm sure that they had no idea that there was going to be a crowd outside of the hotel, but it was. And so, with encouragement, they stepped out there. This was quite deliberate, very deliberate. They were so lazy. No insight, a total lack of intellectual curiosity. Everything about their tour was let's do what Lizzie and Philip did back in the day. Let's do everything that they've done, and we cannot go wrong. We don't have to change a thing. And they, uh, Kensington Palace, Kensington Palace said that it was not their idea to step on the back of that Range Rover. That someone from Jamaica, the Jamaicans were like, "Oh, you got to do it. You got to do it." No, it was actually Kensington Palace that was demanding that they find that Range Rover, right? Gas it up because we're going to use it. That was their idea. That was not their host idea. They were pushing for this. Now, whether it was, I don't know, the courtiers, whether it was, I guess, William or Kate, I don't know. But I don't think that they even gave it a thought. What is that going to look like? What is that going to look like? Considering you were, the British government stopped the repatriation of the Windrush. Actually, it's not even repatriation because at the time when people came over on the Windrush, they were part of the empire. They were British citizens. So there was no repatriation, they were citizens. And then, of course, the Home Office pretend as though they didn't know anything about their citizenship. We don't know anything about the fact they've been working for a lifetime. We don't have any information for you. Sorry, it was lost. We're sending you to Jamaica, even if you were a child when you left Jamaica. So they suspended those flights just for this trip and only to start them up again, or that, at least that was the plan, after the trip was over. That right there is a smack in the face. Let's continue. So Keir Starmer wades into the row over Royal Tour of Caribbean, saying William could have gone further, condemning slavery and branding decision to ride with Kate in Land Rover used by Queen a bit odd. Well, it wasn't a bit odd. They were demanding it. Even the costume that Kate is wearing is a replica of the white lace dress with hat that the Queen wore. It is nearly identical. And they push for that. Whose birthday is it? I just noticed that. Whose birthday is it? Whose? Okay, I see happy belated birthday, Joy Amore. And who else is it? Happy belated birthday, blessings, Lydia Washington. You had a birthday? I didn't know about that. When was it? Anyway, happy birthday. Well, for both of you, let's have a little salsa, shall we? I totally missed that. All right. We're going to have a little birthday salsa. On 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm so sorry. I almost missed that. Happy birthday and many happy returns of the day. I really do apologize. I missed that. I'm doing too much stuff at one time. Um, wow. Happy birthday. Okay, so growing calls in Caribbean to cut ties with monarchy as royals fly out. It was a disaster. You guys know this is one of my favorite things is dragging them for this royal tour of the Caribbean. There's a close up if you want to see the side to side. It looks like they put some, you know what, as if it wasn't conspicuous enough. I wonder if it was their call to put some white walls. I mean, the whole utilitarian value of the vehicle has been lost since they put some white walls on it. Well, at least they didn't put the queen's little crown thingy on there. But what nerves? What nerves? It was just ridiculous. This was so silly. Kate and Williams Jamaican tour, a complete waste of time. Queen faces dethroning. Now, all those times that they say that Harry and Meghan had upset the Queen, we all know how much fuss the Queen made about the pseudo empire, also known as the what do you call that? The um, the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth. We all know what a big deal the Commonwealth was, right? And if anything had been painful and hurtful to the Queen, I would think it was the loss of the Commonwealth. Half of the Commonwealth just about lost in one day. Oh, you're welcome, Lydia Washington. 39 months. I think that's a record. 39 months membership. That's the first time I've ever seen 39 months. 38 I thought was incredible, but 39 months membership? Wow, thank you so much for that. So, Perfect Storm, Royals misjudge Caribbean tour, critics say, says critics. Calls for slavery reparations, and Jamaica Prime Minister insisting country was moving on, signals sea change in relations with royals. Huh. Will and Kate did that because they're lazy and incompetent. I mean, take a look there. Look at there. Look at that. Now contrast that to this. Huh? Contrast that to this. Do y'all remember that? Do you remember that? I mean, what a warm, friendly welcome they got. They went there for the One Love premiere. That was the whole thing was a stroke of genius. And only Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, could get away with wearing a ball gown or ball skirt. Only Meghan could get away with that. I don't know who else could have pulled that off. Meghan's just like, you know what? I'm going to wear a black tank top and I'm going to wear a ball skirt and they're going to love it. And they did. They did. It didn't look pretentious or out of place. And she just worked it. I'm telling you, that is one of the most underrated, but one of the best fashion moments anybody in that family has ever had. That is one of the best. Yeah, that is like, I want to take a look at that, don't you? I mean, I've talked it up, right? We got to take a look at it. Let me see. What was that? January 20. Was that this year? Why does it seem like, yes, it was this year. Why does that seem so long ago? My goodness. Now, I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm not going to play the whole thing. Just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit.
Did you guys just catch that? Did you just catch that? I think the lady in white was kind of teasing Megan by doing one of those deep curtsies. I'm going to run it back just a little bit. I want you to look for that. But I do think that they were just having some fun, and Megan's. You can see Megan's reaction. They both had to have a big laugh about it, I'm sure. Take a look. Did you see that? You see how her head kind of went down? Check it out one more time. Megan touches her on the arm like, "Girl, stop playing." Yeah, Megan touches her on the arm. I don't know if anybody had noticed that before because the frame is so small you could barely see it. But she probably said to her, "Your Majesty," or something like that. And it just goes to show Megan doesn't care about all that stuff. She's just like um, unfazed by it. Okay, it's like that was only a small part of that video, so I can't play the whole thing right now. Maybe I'll play it when we get to the end. I'll start it over again, and we'll just finish with that. But yeah, I love that. She's like grabs her skirt or dress or whatever, and she's going in for this deep curtsy. I thought that was hilarious the first time I saw it. I just about missed it the first time, and then I'm like, "Wait a minute, was she what was she doing?" But yeah, so I love that moment for them. That was a lot of fun. This was just a great night. This was a great night.
That's why you should never confuse what Harry and Meghan, what they're doing to be anything that qualifies as a royal tour or event or something like that, because it's very informal and it's just full of love and connections. Compare that to this. Compare that to this. And what I love about the whole thing with the Caribbean tour for Will and Kate is it reminded people of the past. Again, they were acting as though they were Philip and Elizabeth, and that's what gets them in trouble. Prince William says monarchy's not racist, but look who carried him on the throne in 2012, says TMZ. Isn't that owned by Murdoch? Prince William insists the royals aren't very much a racist family, but photos of him and his wife being carried on elevated thrones don't exactly reflect that. It doesn't exactly reflect that, does it? That was just tacky. And I'm going to say one more time, I have looked, I've searched, I have tried in vain to find any images of Charles in all the years that he went around the world as the Prince of Wales. I have never seen him carried about like some kind of deity. I cannot find it. Prince William and Kate Middleton's disastrous royal tour is proof they need to step up as the future of the monarchy. They haven't learned a thing, you guys. They have not learned a thing. They haven't. They are just as inept, um, in over their heads, lazy, complacent, and worst of all, they just don't care. They really do not care. They're only as good as what their team prepares them to be. That's it. Look at William. Like a kid. It's so silly. It's like a kid. Well, this was in what, the South Pacific somewhere? This was 2012, I believe, when they were doing their honeymoon. After their honeymoon, they, traveled so all the realms and the Commonwealth could see them. This was wrong on so many levels. And they are just as happy as they can be. This is just the most fun thing ever. I bet you they have these images laminated and stuck on a refrigerator, and I'm sure this is like the best time they've ever had. Oh yeah. Yeah. They're happy. No, this isn't Jamaica. This is somewhere in the South Pacific. I forget which place they went to, but it's an absolute shame. This was well, you can see how much hair William has. So this lets you know this was about, oh, what, 10, 15 years ago? Now, that's the Queen and that's Philip. Now, this is what I realized. The Queen and Philip have been rowed to shore. I guess they were coming from the Britannia and they were carried about. But that was back in the 50s or what was it, the 60s. This was a long time ago, not modern times, right? This is the old days. I mean, look at that. They're actually on a real boat, and I saw some other photos. They were actually carried from the water. Who knows? Maybe they didn't know that this was going to happen. I'm guessing, before I saw it, I was just like, okay, that's kind of tacky. But maybe they didn't know that this was going to happen to them. Who knows? I mean, you're in the boat. They pick the boat up. They walk you to wherever. Maybe they knew, maybe they didn't know. But again, that was a long time ago. Now, Princess Kate set to miss ceremony as star-studded lineup unveiled for Prince William's major event. Oh, and by the way, I don't want to forget to use this one. The whole thing was a waste of time. Those two are an utter waste of time. Do you understand me? They're a waste. They're a waste of space, a waste of opportunity, a waste of time. They do absolutely nothing to move the dial for anybody, not even for themselves. Dull. As Carol Malone said, you couldn't cobble a personality together between the two of them. You could put the two of them together and not get a whole and complete person. Carol Malone said that. Back in the days when it was okay to criticize them, you could put the two of them together and you could not have one complete person. That's what a waste of time they are. A waste. Do you hear me? A waste. Okay, I got that out of my system. Yeah, that's how I really feel. Hi, Heather Stroud. Thank you so much for being here. I know, Connie Bomber. I know. There's something about them that are just so triggering, isn't it? They trigger people. They're so smug and selfish. What's that? We just have to remember that the Royal Rota, British media, and vile commentators are just trying to get Prince Harry and Meghan to try to get them to talk about them. And Prince Harry has told them to go and flip a burger themselves. I think that's what you meant to say. Yeah, Church Nelly. I get so, I guess, riled up because of the constant negativity toward the Sussexes. And I look at the hypocrisy and it just, like I said, triggering. It triggers me when I see the hypocrisy. When you see two people that work as hard as the Sussexes do, the fact that they know people's name and position and they know some history about that person when they first meet them. They've done their homework. And then you have these two, like William, go to a movie premiere that is a movie about, well, he meets those girls that made that movie about an assault or people being assaulted in so many words. And did you have fun making the movie? He didn't even watch it. He could have just had one of his people watch it and took some notes. They don't even do the smallest things, but yet they praise them for everything. And I, for one, am just tired of it. I'm tired of it. I hate to see them get away with such nonsense. So apparently, Kate is not going to South Africa. Princess Kate set to miss ceremony as star-studded lineup unveiled for Prince William's major event. The celebrities issue statements ahead of Prince William's major event as Kate is not included in the lineup. Now, we talked about that yesterday. And I think I do still have the slides for that. They Oh my goodness. I cannot wait for this. I just have a feeling it is going to be absolutely messy. And I, for one, am here for it. Let me see. Is this it? Heir to the throne. No, that's not it. What did I do with it? Clickbait, clickbait. Okay. Wasn't that yesterday where they announced the lineup? Uh Gosh, I thought it was yesterday. Maybe it was further down. Anyway, I'll find it later. But yeah, let me get back over here then. So what I'll do is I'll move this over here. That'll make it easier for me to find it. But I thought for certain that was yesterday. Oh wow. Oh, was it the 25th? Oh, yeah, maybe it was the 25th. I wanted to show you guys the lineup. I was so sure it was yesterday though. Yeah, I should have put the lineup over here, but I didn't know I was going to talk about it. but give me a second. I will find it. Okay. Aha, yes, 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 yes. I got it. So it was yesterday, and it is slide number 23. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, Dobrev, Nina Dobrev, and Heidi Klum joined star-studded lineup, and of course Winnie Harlow and Billy Porter. Yes, Billy Porter. So that is the lineup, and I'm sure there's going to be a couple other people, and Lord knows that social climber David Beckham. You know, they. I'm surprised he's not mentioned, but they'll probably drag him down there. He'll fly on a private jet, making sure that he creates as much particle matter and pollutants along the way to an event that is supposed to tell us to not, create such. But yeah, he'll probably fly by himself in a private jet, like he did last time. But yeah, so that is the lineup. Okay, Secret of Prince William's rugged rebrand. You guys, they are doing it again. They are doing it again. Prince Harry was called one of the 50th sexiest, most beautiful men of all time. And what happens? One of those people at Kensington Palace, one of those courtiers, or maybe a group of them, they must have heard Williams complaining about it or sighing about it or something. And what happens? They decided to try to piece together. That's the Kensington crew. Old photo. I don't know who's in or out now, but that's the Kensington crew kissing up to Will and Kate. Well, there you go. How Future King went from balding middle aged dad to hot air thanks to new trainers and that stubble. It's just like being a global, what was it? The global leader, global something, global statesman. It's just like being a global statesman. You don't tell us you're a global statesman. We tell you. So you don't grow a beard and get some new shoes and then send an order to your courtiers who gets on the phone with someone over at the Daily Mail, and then they write an article telling us that you're no longer a balding middle-aged dad and now you're a hot heir to the throne. And are these people serious? Have they um injured themselves in some kind of way that they bump their heads? Have they been denied oxygen? What is going on with those people? How do you take that leap that somehow he is no longer just a balding middle-aged dad? Which, by the way, um, thank you for using that language to describe him. They are still describing him. That's a subtle dig. Maybe that's the type of subtle dig, but they are still describing him. Now, someone commented and said, for the rest of the world, Prince William really isn't most Brits' idea of hot. The female columnists at the Fail just have much lower standards than the rest of us. It's not that he's so attractive. They just have a lower standard than the rest of us. I mean, after all, um, I think that most people would agree that the Celt cover boy, they would agree that okay, that's hot. But what could I say? I think most people say that's not. He has that stupid smug look on his face. He always looks like something stank. He always has that something stank look on his face. He always has that resting, pompous heir to the throne face, right? And then he's got that rather awkward gaze. There's just too many things going wrong. He has no real personality. His sense of humor is always lacking. There's always something that seems like, I don't know, like he's one tree short of a hammock, right? Like he's one brick short of a house. Like he's one oar short of a rowboat. Like his elevator doesn't go to the top floor. You understand what I'm saying? Like somebody looked at that stove and just blew the pilot light out years ago. There's always something that's just not right. And you can't put your finger on it. And it's probably because there's always so many people kissing up to him, right? Yeah. But it's like his dinghy has sprung a leak. Yeah, that's it. It's like a dinghy has sprung a leak. Yeah. I think that describes it. I think I'm running out of adjectives. So, yeah, I'm going to say that that's what it is. Elaine Parker, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for the super chat. Gee, I hope you're okay. I was worried about you, but I hope you're feeling okay. And thank you so much for being here. And sorry I went on so late yesterday, but it couldn't be helped. But thank you so much for being here, and I hope you're well. Okay. So there you have it. They found out Prince Harry was on the what was it? Which magazine was it? Harper's Bazaar. 50 most beautiful men of all time. 50 most beautiful men of all time. And Willie wanted in on that. Yeah, he wanted in on that. So it's been about 2 years. Has it been 2 years or has it been a year? Because before William went to New York for that Earthshot thing, or to name the nominees or winners or whatever, before that, they had just started that campaign about how hot William is and how sexy he is and how irresistible he is. They started that stuff then, right? That he was the sexiest bald guy in the world. Now, from what I hear, that was part of a thing for some hair loss company, some type of hair loss thing. Whatever company or institution that tries to help people fix their hair loss or whatever, they say when you would go to that website for that group, that it would link you to a clinic or something to that effect. That's what I heard. I didn't see it myself, but I heard that. So it wasn't like it was even a magazine. It wasn't something you ever heard of. It was some type of commercial interest that created that list. And of course, the tabloid media, the sycophants, the cult known as the royalists, they ran with it and made this big deal out of it. It did not happen organically. He was put on a list that promote treatment for hair loss. So it was, in other words, kind of like fake news. There was nothing real about it. It was something to stroke his ego. and that he would beat out Vin Diesel, that he would beat out The Rock, all of the people that supposedly were beneath him. Absolutely. William will never qualify as beautiful in anybody's book. His days of being beautiful, that is so, I don't know, 12 years ago. That is so long ago. That's not who he is today. He has become quite bizarre in his middle age. But yeah, so that's what set them off. They saw this, and let me see, what was the date of that? That was October 21st, and it took them, oh my goodness, do you mean to tell me that wasn't even a week ago? That wasn't even a week ago. They have been working on this ever since this article came out. Yes, Stanley Tucci. Stanley Tucci has always been incredibly attractive, hair or no hair. He's a very, very attractive man. Very much so. Yeah, Stanley Tucci should be on any list that is similar to that. Absolutely. But yeah, so they didn't even let a week go by. I guess before the momentum was gone, they wanted to make sure that they got in on it. I'm embarrassed for them. I am really embarrassed for them. They should be embarrassed. And mind you, it was not a big headline. They did not make a big headline out of it. They just kind of dropped that in the middle of it somewhere. And yeah, that's it. They found some way to insert it, and now it's there. They didn't promote it in any way. I don't think that any of, did anybody else pick that up or no? Yeah, I think it's just restricted to the fail. Nobody else is going for it. So let me see. I didn't even read the article. I didn't even read the article. I just grabbed the screenshot because I figured it would be ridiculous. Hold on, though. I'm just going to skim through it. I want to see if it mentions Harry anywhere. It's always interesting, too, to see what photos that they select that to help make the case. What photos do they choose to build the case? Williams' laid back look mirrors the kind of effortlessly stylish outfits his wife, Kate, might choose for a casual engagement. Oh, no. You guys don't even bother. Please do not go and open up that article. There's nothing there. And I don't think it mentions Harry at all either. It's almost like they're talking about someone else. Yeah, it's nothing there. It's just clickbait. It's just clickbait. This outpouring of support appears to have played a significant role in Williams' choice to maintain new style. Oh God. However, it's not only his grooming habits that have evolved. William has also revamped his wardrobe, and he hasn't revamped it. You mean he has done a copy and paste of Harry's wardrobe? That's what he's done. How shallow? How shallow? I mean, it's shallow. It's as shallow as a glass of water, transparent, desperate. It is desperate. Barbara Lane, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for being here tonight. Greatly appreciate it. Uh, he reminds you of Urkel with his high waisted pants. I love it. I love it. Speaking of which, I mean, Harry is a style icon. Harry has stepped up his fashion ever since he got married, and he hasn't looked back. It's almost as though you didn't know how stylish Harry was. There was a few photos where Harry cut quite the image, right? But when Meghan came along, everything changed. Everything changed. He stepped up his wardrobe in a way that would probably put him on a best dressed list, I believe. That's going to happen. That's going to happen, especially the way Harry looks in a suit. Harry can wear the hell out of a suit. And there's another embarrassing situation on the right side there. Another case of some um, royal couple who doesn't seem to garner enough of the attention from the press have put on some ridiculous display trying to be Harry and Meghan, trying to be something that they're not and will never be. That trip to Australia and Samoa was a complete failure. And they're trying to spin that trip. They're trying to spin it as though it was a rousing success. It was not, it was a failure. Now, here comes the hecklers. This has nothing to do with Meghan. And confession, I did look at this article for the sake of work and research. It has nothing to do with Meghan. You know why Meghan's image is there? Notice she's not mentioned in the title. Here comes the hecklers. Awkward moments royals were confronted by the public, including woman who told Kate in Belfast, Ireland belongs to the Irish. Now, you know what bothers me about this, besides the fact that they put Meghan in there for no reason? Did I not just mention yesterday Kate Middleton in Ireland? Did I not just bring up Kate Middleton in Ireland? And just by coincidence, sheer coincidence, they have it in an article today. Didn't I just mention that? I literally just mentioned that yesterday when I was dragging Kate. And now today appears an article on that very same topic. Of course, mine was about Kate's bad decisions. But I'm just like, are they watching? Are they watching us? I literally just mentioned that yesterday. Let me show you. Let me show you. Yesterday was the 26th, and it was slide number 55. I exhausted myself dragging her yesterday. There it is. Princess Kate told Ireland belongs to the Irish by woman during visit to Belfast. Irish woman was polite, but to the point. Polite, but to the point. And fast forward, there's an article, and that's the first thing in the article is Kate being heckled by this woman. And it also shows where that, oh, did you ever see? Well, there was this lady that showed up at some event that Kate was doing, and Kate was wearing that god awful pink outfit, very juvenile looking pink suit, trying to somehow identify with the Barbie movie. And this lady was heckling her. I mean, literally running in circles, trying to. Oh, here it is. Here it is. So the lady was yelling, "Born equal." That's what she was yelling. Born equal and yelling boo. And you could see early on in the video that they were trying to keep the lady out of the camera shot. But I wish I could have put like the theme music from Benny Hill. Wouldn't that have been fun if they had the Benny Hill music when this cop was chasing her? Da, 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 da. Wait. It's did I? No, I don't think I have that part. But it's one point the lady was in the background running with her sign. I don't think I have that here. Yeah, but it says monarchy something. I could barely see that. But yeah, so that really did happen. So yes, Kate had got heckled on that occasion too. And you can see it in the lower right image right there. That's the woman with the sign. But okay, so I'm going to tell you why they have Meghan's photo in this story. Number one, that's the only way to get people interested in reading it. Number two, it wasn't Meghan that was heckled, it was Vice President. Um, oh gosh, what's her name? Oh, I forgot her name. But anyway, she was the one that was heckled. And what happened was she was talking about women's rights, and then someone yelled out from the audience. And I didn't see this when they were in Colombia, but someone in the audience said, "What about trans rights?" And so the vice president just simply said that we have another forum for that, or she said, "But this is for all women." So she did not deny her the right to be addressed as a woman, but she said that there was a specific, um, I guess, meeting or forum or something like that for the, trans women. And so the woman was not removed. She sat down after the vice president replied to her, and she didn't say anything else the rest of that forum or that visit. So that's what they were talking about. It could have been a big deal. Otherwise, we would have heard about it before. But they had to find some kind of way to get Meghan into this article. They had to find some kind of way to get Meghan into this article. So they used the vice president. How tacky. Now, Prince William, "I'll show people how to prevent homelessness." Well, this is not doing well. This is not doing well. People are being very, and rightly so, they're being very critical toward William with this scheme to change First, it was he's going to end homelessness. Then it turned into he's going to change the way we talk about it. And now he's going to prevent it. But the important thing is to make sure that they send out a camera crew and get as much footage as possible. So when they make one of their slick edited videos and put it on social media, that people might actually watch it. That's the whole point of it. In other words, his mouth is moving, but he's not really addressing anything. So the king bounces back. King Charles to resume full program of international travel next year in a further boost to His Majesty's cancer recovery. The king is set to return to full overseas tour program next year. It's understood that the royal tour to Australia and Samoa lifted his spirits, his mood, and his recovery. All of that, huh? Must have been that stuff they drank out of that coconut shell. Yeah, I don't know what was in that coconut shell, but it seems as though it's given him just the boost that he needs to continue to carry on. Of course, the National, the Scottish newspaper, they have a different view of things. Raining on the King's Parade, dark clouds now loom over Commonwealth as growing calls to ditch the monarchy overshadow tour. Now that's more like it. It wasn't this, but it's actually more like that because that tour did not go very well. The Charles only became animated when a bunch of brown people actually started showing him deference and doing all that bowing and stuff like that. Then all of a sudden, it was like he was a whole nother person. It was like he was a whole nother person. When it was just, Lydia Thorpe and everybody else, no big deal. He was too busy, I guess, pouting over the fact that the premiers of Australia refused to see him. But once he got over to Samoa, he was he was happier than a I'm trying to say this politically correct, but he was happy as a hairdresser in a okay, I can't do that one. But that's really bad. Okay, but he was happy. All right. Right here they they came back to full duty. Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble. I can't say that one. But it's more in the vein of a pulled pork sandwich, so you can see where that was going. Um, let's see. Yeah, so the king back to his full duty. So I think they're trying to spin this trip. They're trying to spin it as though this is a new beginning. They never told us what type of cancer he was suffering from. They didn't say what they were treating. They didn't say how they were treating it. We don't know what kind of cancer he had. We don't know how much of a toll that his cancer and his treatment had taken on his stamina or his immunity. We don't know. We're just taking their word for it. It was full disclosure when it was his prostate. And remember, when it started off, there was no cancer, there was just an enlarged prostate. And then, of course, it turned into cancer. I'm not telling you what kind, I'm not telling you anything, just that he has it and that he's going to start treatment. And it was the same with Kate. At first, it was just an abdominal surgery. It wasn't an emergency, but we think it was. It's not cancerous, but she's going to be in the hospital for 10 days. And then it even turned into don't expect to see her for the rest of the year because guess what? It's cancer too. And both of the people that were accused of being racist as a result of Omid Scobie's Endgame are the same two people who did have surgery that wasn't an emergency. It certainly wasn't cancer. They were in the hospital at the same time. And then eventually, both of them, it turned into cancer. Charles on March the 5th and Kate on May 22nd. I still remember something is not right. Something is not right. That is just too many coincidences, especially when they won't tell you. Now, this is why his trip was such a disaster because half of the people that should have been at the heads of government were not even there. The most important people, they went over to meet with Vladimir Putin. They went over to meet with Vlad the Impaler. They thought it made more sense to spend time with Vladimir Putin than King Charles at the head of government for the Commonwealth, which is not really a Commonwealth. It doesn't really do anything. That's why I say it was a disaster. This is the story. But instead of talking about this, what are they talking about? King back to full duty. Gaslight. They're gaslighting. They're trying to make it seem. I mean, look at this. Look at that. King bounces back. It was just the tonic that he needed. This trip was just the tonic that he needed. They even have those highly edited images of Charles and Godzilla. They're all photoshopped and everything. Oh, their skin is smooth as butter. So instead of him being, embarrassed by Vladimir Putin, they're saying that he got some good rest, that the people were so loving and accommodating that he has bounced back, even though we know his parade was rained upon, that he bounced back and he's going to go back on full duty and do royal tours. Well, you know what? He better hope that Vladimir Putin doesn't have a party scheduled at the same time. Ramaphosa wasn't there. Let me see. The president of India wasn't there. I don't have a list of all the people, but it seemed like all of the people that should have been there, they sent their foreign ministers, or should I say, the most important people. They should be embarrassed. It's embarrassing. But instead, they're trying to spin it as though it was a huge success. It was not. It was a failure. It was a failure. And then, of course, he and Camilla, they both climbed the steps of that plane and went back to the UK. Camilla didn't even wait. She started up the steps without him. And then he followed. Look at there. It was pouring when they got there, and it was even worse when they left. It was even worse when they left. They got to Australia. Don't they have a lot of droughts there? It was a torrential downpour. And then, of course, Samoa, no surprise, it was raining, but my goodness, this was otherworldly rain. As though it's a sign. It's as though this is a sign that you're all washed up. You're washed up, you're washed out, and this whole trip was a waste of time. Now let's get to her. Um, or as the lady Sussex would say, that woman, this one. I don't know if you guys watched the lady Sussex today, but if she would have said that woman or this woman one more time, I thought I was going to scream. It was so funny. And that woman, this woman, Oh my goodness. And the first time she said that was when she did it was the one where she asked the question, who is this woman? In reference to Camilla being crowned the queen consort at the Westminster Abbey. And still today, there is no real answer for it because we don't know. We just don't know how something like Camilla happens. She was just lurking and hiding in plain sight, going to the occasional polo match and all that kind of stuff. And now she's the queen consort. It's like she just snuck up on the world. I mean, just imagine we're the world, we're minding our business, we're going about our business, doing our, day to day stuff. And then all of a sudden, we look over our shoulder and we realize that woman is there. This woman. Where did she come from? It's like a I don't know. I've never done any heavy chemicals or anything, but I would imagine from what they say, um, if you did use something that was in a hallucinogenic, that it could put you in a state of euphoria and confusion. And let's say you glance at a poster of Farrah Fawcett Majors, and this is looking back at you. You don't know how to explain it. Your rational mind is not working. I mean, the hair, isn't that Farrah Fawcett? No, it's that woman, Camilla, the Queen Consort. There's no explanation for her. No explanation for, I mean, she doesn't even have a good personality. If you like someone that keeps the company of Jeremy Clarkson or Pierce Morgan, then you'd probably like her if that's the company you like to keep. Anyway, the disturbing thing about these pics is that throughout this tour, Camilla had looked bored, stoned, disinterested. She only came alive to laugh at and mock the culture of the Samoan host, who went to so much trouble to welcome her. Let that be a lesson to all people of color. Now, you guys, this is Camilla laughing. They tried to convince us that Camilla was crying because of something Charles said. Do you remember that? Talked about that yesterday. Charles had said something, and they said that Camilla was just torn to pieces by his words. Okay, let me find that. Let me see. That's the 26th. And I couldn't let it go. I thought about it and I thought about it and I thought about it, and I could not let that go. I said, that doesn't sound consistent with what I'm seeing. So during the event, the king was bestowed with an honorary title, Tuega o Tumua, of the village of Siumu. Okay. Camilla in tears during farewell as Charles tells Samoans he hopes to survive long enough to come back. He hopes to survive long enough to come back. All right? Remember that. Stick a pin in that one because, well, let me see. Here we go. He hopes to survive long enough to come back. Charles is hoping that he can come back. Now, this is Camilla crying and in a fit of tears. This is her ground swell of emotions. This is her inconsolable while Charles is speaking of his mortality.
Take away with us, I promise you, the most special memories of our time here. And thank you for these wonderful gifts and for bestowing the particular title on me. I shall always remain devoted to this part of the world and hope that I survive long enough to come back again and see you all. Thank you. Thank you, Your Majesty. Come here!
Do you see Camilla crying and wiping tears because she's in such anguish over Charles' talk of mortality? I didn't see it. Did you? I didn't see it at all because it didn't happen. It did not happen. That's gaslighting. That is an absolute lie. She was making fun of the people of Samoa that were there to amuse and entertain and honor them, even in the pouring rain. That was a complete lie. I just showed you when Charles said those words. And it wasn't like she was sitting there and still in tears or anything like that, because it looks like they were getting up to get out of there. This is what she was laughing at. This is what she's laughing at. She was laughing at all of those brown people going through all that trouble in that torrential downpour. And this was her reaction to that. You can hear the rain pouring. So she's laughing. This is not her crying about Charles speaking of his mortality and that he hope he comes back. He's able to come back in the future. Camilla's laughing at the native people as she has done in Canada and as she has done in several other places. This is why they have this strong connection, because they probably both share the same attitude toward people of color. That's why. They're two of a kind, she and Charles. They are two of a kind. Charles is more adept at keeping a straight face, right? But Camilla, no, she does not hide what she's feeling. Well, if it's on the inside, it's going to come on right out to the outside. Just as when she walked through that receiving line or that walkabout, and she couldn't even look the people in the face. She couldn't even be bothered. It's as though she was just. Now, here's something else you need to know. It was said, I believe, was it the video that we watched earlier? Duchess Royal rather. She said that there was an event nearby and that the people going to that event, they were hoping to funnel some of them over to this church, which this visit was arranged at the very last moment, like within hours of their visit. This trip, it was not announced prior to the fact that they realized, hey, there's an Anglican church near a street festival. Why don't we block this street and block that street so that we can funnel some people by that church if there's anybody who's curious enough to want to see Charles and Godzilla in the flesh. Why don't we do that? And I didn't think about that before. Did not think about that. But it's true. It makes sense. And you want to know why that makes sense? I'm going to show you why. I'm going to show you why. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. The reason why it makes sense, there's no flowers. There are no flowers for the queen consort. And it's not a lack of flowers because they don't care to give her flowers. It's because they didn't expect to see her. It's because they didn't expect to see her. They were kind of rounded up as they were trying to get to this street fair. And yes, there may have been some people that saw Chris Ship with a P, not a T, send out a Mayday call to get people to come to this event. But it was all very last minute. They probably used some buses or coach buses or whatever to bring some people in. And of course, they had some volunteers, a group of royalists, monarchists. They have a group, something Monarchy Australia, that passed out the flags, but there were no flowers. That's why there were no flowers, because those people were not expecting to be there, let alone that they were actually going to see those two misfits in the flesh. That's why she didn't get any flowers. Now it all makes sense. Thank you, Duchess Royal, because before I didn't put it together. But apparently there was an event that was nearby, and they were hoping that people going to that event with some strategic road and lane closures would somehow, allegedly, possibly, be funneled toward that church. And then, of course, oh, you want to see Camilla and Charles? They're here. Well, yeah, they were curious, but they were not prepared. That was just kind of like an add-on to an otherwise typical, what is it, spring there now, day? Now it makes sense. Lex says you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make it a queen. Cheers, and thank you so much for the super chat. Yes, you can bring a horse to the water, but you cannot make it a queen. It's not even a good queen consort. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Now it makes sense. Let me see. Well, either her feet were hurting or she was losing her buzz. She was losing her buzz because to be Camilla with all of that deception and backstabbing and stuff, leaking and briefing information. That is, whenever Kensington Palace can't get a word in edgewise, then of course you find yourself up late at night, fortifying yourself, trying to settle your nerves. It takes a lot to be that shady. And here are some reenactments, just like on one of those cop shows. Here's a reenactment of a couple of actresses or two that show you exactly what a typical evening is, allegedly, possibly, for the queen consort. After all that manipulating and backstabbing and I guess raiding Queen Elizabeth's jewel box, you end up sitting around smoking a square and drinking some whiskey, even though they say you don't smoke anymore. So yeah, that explains everything. Now, what the royal family are cheap. Betty accepted a gold state coach and $1 million racehorse from the Sultan of whatever it is, and gave him a 14.99 book and 2 pictures of herself from Windsor in return. I was just like, seriously? I guess that did happen. You see there? Queen Elizabeth and Philip visit Oman. Queen Elizabeth and Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, are presented with so it's like a Fabergé egg. It's like an oversized Fabergé egg, and it probably cost a fortune. And it has a carriage inside of it, probably plays music or something like that. And she received a prime racehorse. And what did she do in return? She gave him that little picture of them, of those 2 pensioners that don't even live together. I hope they don't still do that stuff. All the money they got, and that is what you give to your host? Now, oh, here we go. Gotta play this sound bite. Gotta play this sound bite. I told you I was thinking that this might get a little messy. I told you that. This might get a little messy. And maybe this is a indication of how messy things are going to be. I mean, it may go smoothly. Billy Porter is very professional when he's working, although sometimes he look kind of sloppy and overserved, but that ain't none of my business. Ready for it?
If you're a fan of the royals, how do you feel about Harry and Meghan maybe spending more time in America? We might get to see.
I like that.
Yes.
He married a black girl. She was like, we don't need that money. Been here before. I love it.
Voiceover work for Disney.
I love it. And she took him right on with her. I love her for it.
And she's a style icon.
She's everything to me. I love her.
Can we also ask you, Brad Pitt won his first.
One more time.
If you're a fan of the royals, how do you feel about Harry and Meghan maybe spending more time in America? We might get to see.
I like that.
Yes.
He married a black girl. She was like, we don't need that money. Been here before. I love it.
Voiceover work for Disney.
I love it. And she took him right on with her. I love her for it.
And she's a style icon.
She's everything to me. I love her.
Can we also ask you?
Okay, there you go. So, you want Billy Porter? Here's Billy Porter. I cannot wait to see what he wears for this occasion. I really cannot wait to see it. But he's going to South Africa with Willie Leaks and a few other people. And I cannot wait to see what he wears. That's all. I'm sure it's going to be amazing, whatever it is. Now, I have another soundbite for you. Wait a minute. He has a very interesting last name, and sometimes I can not remember it. Yes, James Tallarico. That is Representative James Tallarico from Texas. I love this guy. This guy speaks truth, and he's just amazing. So I wanted you to hear the latest thing that he said, and we'll talk about it on the other side.
Christian nationalists walk around with a mouth full of scripture and a heart full of hate. Don't tell me what you believe. Show me how you treat other people, and I'll tell you what you believe. Jesus didn't tell us to love our churches. He didn't tell us to love our doctrines and our creeds. He didn't even tell us to love our scriptures. He told us to love our neighbors. And there was no exception to that commandment. Love thy neighbor, regardless of race, class, gender, sexual orientation, or immigration status. One of my favorite theologians, Barbara Brown Taylor, once wrote, "The only clear line I draw these days is this. When my religion tries to come between me and my neighbor, I will choose my neighbor. Jesus never commanded me to love my religion." You know what's interesting? Not once in the entire Bible does Jesus ask us to worship him. All he asks is that we follow him. Love like he loved. Love the outcast. Welcome the stranger. Feed the hungry. Heal the sick. Free the oppressed. As the hymn says, they will know we are Christians by our love. We have to get back to that. Christian nationalists.
Okay. So I'm going to see if I can find the entire speech, and I'll put it on the community tab. But I just kind of found that today while I was prepping. But yeah, this guy is amazing. He's a former school teacher, and I think he's working on his master's or PhD in theology. But his name is James Tallarico. Let me put that there in case you want to try to find him. But yeah, and it looks like he stands for faith and justice. Yeah, because it's the Faith and Justice Award that day. But anyway, I love this guy. He's incredible. So I just thought I would share that with you and share this with you. I'm looking forward. Now, I don't know when this is supposed to happen. I could not, well, actually, I didn't find any information about it, but I guess that they're going to appear together, maybe, or has that happened already? And did I just like miss it or something? But anyway, I'll be looking forward to it. So let me see. Shay and Kamala Harris. Check 1, 2, and 3. Now we got some sound. Matter of fact, let me turn it up. Well, good. We made it the whole thing without losing sound. Yeah. Okay. All right, you guys, that's it. Thank you so much. And thank you, moderators, for keeping this a safe space. All right. And I'll see you all tomorrow. So if you want to stick around and watch the rest of the video I started earlier with the Sussexes in Jamaica, I think it's, let me see, how long is that video? I think it was like another 10 or 15 minutes. I want to say that video is like 20 minutes long. So if you want to watch the rest of it, I'll put it on now. And otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow or see you later, whichever applies. But yeah, let's finish up with that one.
Marcus. Where's Marcus?
This way.
Jamaicans don't want the Queen. I can tell you that.
And unlike the Queen, he doesn't believe Prince William can keep Jamaica from becoming a republic.
If Harry did there now, people would have react different. People that go meet Harry. But William, but no one see that.
Attain in short order without any goals and fulfill our true ambitions and destiny as an independent, developed, prosperous country.
And can we do?
And we are moving on, and we intend to attain in short order without any goals and fulfill our true ambitions and destiny as an independent, developed, prosperous country.
And can we do?